Another credit alert lit up my phone screen. I barely glanced at it, assuming it was just another notification about my Netflix subscription or grocery delivery. That's what I told myself anyway. Deep down, I knew better. My name is Zuriel, and I should have trusted my instincts months ago. Your sister's wedding looked absolutely magical, my co-worker Lisa gushed, shoving her phone in my face. The flowers alone must have cost a fortune, and that dress. I forced a smile, the kind that doesn't reach your eyes. Yeah, Reagan really outdid herself. You must have been so proud to be her maid of honor. Actually, I wasn't in the wedding party. The words tasted bitter. I had to work that weekend. Lisa's face fell. Oh, but you're her only sister. I turned back to my computer screen, pretending to focus on the spreadsheet in front of me. Reagan and I aren't exactly close. That was the understatement of the century. While my sister posted perfectly filtered photos of her fairy tale wedding, I was pulling double shifts at the accounting firm to cover my mysteriously mounting credit card debt. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was Malia. "Have you seen the honeymoon pics?" she asked without preamble. Because holy shit, I pulled up Reagan's Instagram. There she was, my baby sister, lounging in an overwater bungalow in the Maldives. The caption read, "Living my best life with my soulmate, circumblessed, just as newlywed, such luxury travel." 9 days in paradise, I muttered. Must be nice. How can they afford all this? Malia wondered. Didn't Clyde's parents cut him off? Something clicked in my brain. All those credit alerts, the mounting debt, the way Reagan avoided eye contact at the wedding reception. "I need to check something," I told Malia. "I'll call you back." My hands shook as I logged into my credit monitoring account. The screen loaded, and my stomach dropped. 6 new credit cards opened in the last 8 months. Cash advances, balance transfers, store cards maxed out at high-end boutiques. Total damage, $147,832. "No," I whispered. "No, no, no." I clicked through the transaction history. Bridal boutique, wedding planner, catering deposit, venue rental, first-class flights to the Maldives. My phone buzzed again. Another credit alert. $9,800 charged to the Maldives Island Resort. Memories flooded back. Reagan borrowing my laptop last Christmas. The mail that went missing from my apartment. The way she laughed when I mentioned my credit score dropping. "You're just jealous," she'd said at the reception, champagne glass in hand. "You've always been jealous of me." I called the credit card company listed on the most recent charge. "Yes, Ms. Dixon," the representative said. "I can confirm this card was opened 3 months ago. We have the application right here with your signature and social security number." "My signature?" "Yes, ma'am. It was notarized and everything." My hands curled into fists. "I need to report fraud." "Of course. Can you verify the last purchase made on this account?" I looked at Reagan's latest Instagram post. The infinity pool, the sunset, the smug smile. "A charge to the Maldives Island Resort," I said, "for $90,800. "That's correct. The charge just posted an hour ago." I thought about all the times Reagan got away with everything. Breaking Mum's antique vase, stealing my prom date, lying about where she was going, what she was doing, who she was with. And Mum always believed her, always took her side. "Ms. Dixon, would you like to dispute these charges?" I stared at the photo of my sister living her dream honeymoon. My dream honeymoon, technically. since I was paying for it. Not yet, I said quietly. I need to gather some documentation first. I hung up and opened my laptop, creating a new folder labelled Wedding Receipts. Then I texted Malia. Remember that time in college when you said I was too nice for my own good? She replied instantly, yeah? I don't think that's going to be a problem anymore. My phone lit up with another Instagram notification. Reagan, posing in a designer bikini on pristine white sand. The caption made my blood boil. When you manifest your dreams, the universe provides. Blessed manifestation such an abundance. I took a screenshot and saved it to my new folder. The universe didn't provide anything. I did. She used my name for her big day. I whispered to my empty apartment. Now she's going to learn what that really means. Another credit alert flashed across my screen. This time I smiled. Remember when Reagan broke your arm? Malia asked, sorting through old photos spread across my coffee table. And somehow convinced your mum it was your fault? I rubbed my left wrist unconsciously. I was 13. She pushed me off the trampoline because I wouldn't let her wear my new sweater. And then told everyone you jumped. Mum grounded me for being reckless and bought Reagan an identical sweater the next day. I picked up a family photo from Christmas 5 years ago. That was pretty much our whole childhood in a nutshell. Malia held up her phone, showing me Reagan's latest Instagram story. Well, looks like she's still living her best life. Listen to this caption. Day 3 in paradise. So grateful my amazing family made this dream come true. Amazing family. I laughed bitterly. She means my credit score. My laptop pinged with a new email. Another wedding vendor receipt. $12,000 for flowers. Jesus, Malia whispered. That's more than my car cost. I added it to my growing evidence folder. Remember last Thanksgiving when she said she was planning a simple, intimate ceremony? Right before she announced her engagement by recreating that viral TikTok trend, the one where she made everyone wait outside in the rain for an hour to get the perfect lighting? I shook my head. Should have known then what was coming. My phone rang. Mum's name flashed on the screen. Zuriel, honey. Her voice dripped with artificial sweetness. Have you seen the photos from the Maldives? Isn't your sister just glowing? I gritted my teeth. Yeah, fraud really brings out her natural radiance. Don't be bitter, sweetheart. Just because you chose a different path in life doesn't mean you should resent Reagan's success. Different path? Mum, I have a career, a degree, an actual life savings. Or I did, before Reagan stole my identity. Silence crackled over the line. Then, that's a very serious accusation, Zuriel. It's not an accusation. It's a fact. I have proof. Your sister would never. Check your mail tomorrow. I cut her off. I sent you copies of everything. She hung up without saying goodbye. Malia squeezed my shoulder. You okay? Help me with something? I walked to my bedroom closet and pulled out my old laptop. Reagan borrowed this last Christmas. Said she needed to check her email while her phone charged. And you think... I think she did a lot more than check her email. I powered up the laptop. She's not as tech-savvy as she thinks. Never cleared the browser history or autofill data. Sure enough, the evidence was there. Loan applications, credit card websites, even a WikiHow article on how to apply for credit cards in someone else's name. Got you, I whispered, taking screenshots. My phone buzzed with a text from Sydney, one of Reagan's bridesmaids. Can we talk? It's important. Who's Sydney? Malia asked, reading over my shoulder. The one who helped Reagan forge my signature. I typed back, "Coffee shop on 5th, 20 minutes. Sydney was already there when we arrived, fidgeting with a paper napkin." Her eyes were red. "I'm so sorry," she blurted before I could sit down. "She said you knew about everything, that you wanted to help with the wedding, but couldn't afford it directly because of some tax thing." I kept my voice steady. "Tell me exactly what happened. She brought me these credit applications, said you'd already signed them but needed a notary." Sydney's voice cracked. "I just got my notary license. She said it would be good practice." "And you didn't think to call me?" "She showed me texts from you, screenshots of conversations where you agreed to everything." Sydney pulled out her phone. "Look." The screenshots showed conversations between me and Reagan, except I never wrote those messages. She created fake texts, Malia realized. My phone rang again. This time it was Malia's cousin who worked at the bank. "You're not going to believe who forged the notarized documents," she whispered. "There's security footage, and Zuriel. Your mum's signature is on some of them too." I ended the call, my hands shaking. All those years of Reagan being the golden child, Mum making excuses, enabling her lies. It went deeper than I thought. "What are you going to do?" Malia asked. I opened my laptop and pulled up Reagan's honeymoon photos. My sister, living her stolen dream, without a care in the world. "First," I said, "I'm going to let her finish her honeymoon. Let her post every perfect moment, every expensive meal, every sunset cruise. And then," I smiled, "then I'm going to show her what it feels like when your whole world crashes down. Your sister spent like a hedge fund manager on cocaine," Raymond said, spreading documents across his desk. The fraud investigator let out a low whistle as he reviewed the credit statements. "And she wasn't exactly subtle about it." I leaned forward. "What do you mean? Look here." He pointed to a series of transactions. "She used your cards at the same stores where she used her own, often on the same day. Bridal shops, jewellery stores, even the airline tickets. She'd split purchases between multiple cards, including ones in her name. So she wasn't even trying to hide it. People who commit familial fraud usually don't. They convince themselves they'll fix it before anyone notices." He shuffled through more papers. "But this is different." My phone buzzed. Another Instagram notification from Reagan. "Last sunset in paradise. Back to reality soon. Kakum blessed." "Reality indeed," I muttered. Raymond's office phone rang. He answered, listened, then put it on speaker. "Ms. Dixon?" A woman's voice crackled through. "This is Amanda from Capital One Fraud Services. We're calling about some unusual activity on your account ending in 4892. "Yes?" I held my breath. "We have some concerns about the application process. The notarized signature doesn't match our records and—" "That's because I never signed it," I interrupted. "My sister forged my signature." Silence. Then, "Mum, are you saying you want to file a fraud claim?" "Yes, but first, I need copies of everything. Application, signatures, security footage if you have it." "Of course. We'll need you to come to a branch to verify your identity." After the call ended, Raymond pulled up another document. "There's something else you should see. The notary stamp on these applications. It's registered to Sydney Gonzalez." "I know. I met with her yesterday." "Did she tell you why she did it?" "She said Reagan told her I was dying." Raymond's eyebrows shot up. "Dying?" "Apparently," Reagan said I had some terminal illness and wanted to help her have her dream wedding before... I couldn't finish the sentence. That's creative. He made a note in his file, and extremely illegal. My phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Zuriel? A familiar voice. It's Ryder, my ex-boyfriend. I hadn't heard from him in over a year. What do you want? We need to talk about Reagan. His voice was tight. I should have told you sooner, but can you meet me? 30 minutes later, I sat across from Ryder at a quiet bar. He looked exactly the same, annoyingly handsome and perpetually guilty. Reagan came to me last year, he said, staring into his beer. She was drunk, talking about her wedding plans. Said she found a way to afford everything she wanted. And? She said she had access to someone's crappy credit and was going to use it. Said they'd never know until it was too late. He finally met my eyes. I didn't think she meant you. But you didn't warn me. I didn't think she'd actually do it. Reagan talks big when she's drinking, you know that. Yeah, I do know that. I also know she always follows through. I stood up. Thanks for finally growing a conscience. Back at my apartment, Malia was waiting with takeout and more news. Your mum's been calling everyone, she said, telling them you're trying to ruin Reagan's happiness because you're jealous. Shocking. I opened my laptop. Any word from the bank? Better? Malia pulled out her phone. Remember my friend who works security at Nordstrom? Look what she sent me. The video showed Reagan shopping 3 months ago, trying on wedding shoes. Clear as day, she handed over a black American Express card, my card, and signed my name on the receipt. There's more, Malia said quietly. The tax returns? What about them? Reagan didn't just steal your credit. She filed tax returns in your name too. Used your social security number to claim wedding expenses as business deductions. I felt the blood drain from my face. That's federal fraud. Yeah. And guess who helped her file them? Before I could answer, my phone lit up with a text from Sydney. She told me you were dying, that you gave her permission. I'm so sorry. I have proof. She wrote everything down in a planner. I took photos. The images loaded, page after page of Reagan's flowing handwriting, detailing her scheme, account numbers, passwords, a timeline of when to open each card, when to make charges, when to move money around. And at the bottom of the last page, a note that made my blood run cold. Mum says she'll help with the signatures. Zuriel will never know. She never checks her credit anyway. My phone buzzed again. The fraud department confirming what I already knew. Reagan had booked her honeymoon flights and hotel under my legal identity. Perfect, I whispered, adding the evidence to my growing file. That makes this international fraud. You need to time this perfectly, Raymond said, reviewing my plan. One wrong move, and she'll have time to cover her tracks. I nodded, checking my watch. She's still got 3 days left in the Maldives. The resort confirms she's charging everything to the room. And you've set up the delayed notifications? 24 hours on all accounts. I pulled up my banking app. She won't know anything's wrong until it's too late. My phone rang. Mum. Sweetheart. She started, her voice honey-sweet. I got your package. And? These accusations are ridiculous. Reagan would never... I have video footage, Mum. Bank records, tax documents, her own written confession. She's your sister. Mum's voice cracked. Why are you doing this to her? Why did you help her forge my signature? Silence. That's what I thought. I kept my voice steady. Want to know something funny? She's still using my cards right now, charging champagne and spa treatments to my account. She said you agreed to help with the wedding expenses. Did she? Is that why you helped her commit federal fraud? More silence. You know what the penalty is for identity theft across international borders, Mum? Up to 30 years. You wouldn't, she whispered. Watch me. After hanging up, I called the first credit card company. I'd like to report fraudulent charges, I said, following my script. But I need the investigation to start in exactly 24 hours. Ma'am? I have evidence of identity theft, but the perpetrator is currently out of the country. I need to ensure all accounts are frozen simultaneously when they attempt to return. The representative paused. This is unusual. I have a case number from the fraud department. I read it off. They're expecting my call. One by one, I contacted each credit card company, each bank, each store where Reagan had opened accounts in my name. Everything set to trigger at precisely the same time. Malia watched me work. You're scary when you're methodical. I learned from the best. I checked another account off my list. Reagan taught me everything I know about careful planning. My laptop pinged with an email notification. Subject line: Thought you should see this. The sender was anonymous, but the attachment was clear. Security camera footage from multiple stores, showing Reagan using my cards. In one, she even held up her ID next to mine, comparing the signatures before forging mine. She's not even trying to hide it, Malia said, watching over my shoulder. Why would she? She never faces consequences. My phone buzzed with a text from Clyde, Reagan's new husband. Hey, weird question. Did you authorize Reagan to use your cards for the honeymoon? The hotel's asking about verification. I typed back, Of course. Tell them everything's fine. Wouldn't want anything to spoil your trip. That's cold, Malia grinned. Just giving them enough rope. I pulled up Reagan's latest Instagram post. She and Clyde on a sunset cruise, champagne glasses raised. Caption: Living like royalty with my king. Blessed, luxury life, no regrets. No regrets yet, I muttered. The next morning, I met with Raymond one last time. Everything's in place, he confirmed. The moment they try to check out of that resort, every account will freeze. Their cards will decline. The hotel will demand payment. And the authorities? Already alerted. The evidence is overwhelming. He hesitated. You know this will destroy her, right? She destroyed herself. I stood up. I'm just making sure she can't drag anyone else down with her. Back home, I found another message from Mum. Please, her voicemail begged, we can work something out. Reagan can pay you back slowly. Don't do this to your sister. I called her back. Did she offer to pay you back for forging my signature? I asked. For helping her steal my identity? I'm your mother, she said, as if that explained everything. Yeah, you keep reminding me. Funny how that only matters when Reagan needs protecting. You're being petty and vindictive. No, Mom, I'm being legal. There's a difference. I hung up and opened my laptop. Reagan had just posted another photo. Packed suitcases, ready to return home. Caption: Paradise was perfect, but time to head back to reality. So blessed to start our new life together. Just married, such a blessed, such a new chapter. Reality's going to hit harder than you think, I whispered, checking the time. 20 hours until their flight. 21 until they tried to check out. 22 until every account froze simultaneously. My phone lit up with an encrypted email, another anonymous tip, this time with documents showing Reagan had already started applying for new cards in my name for their dream home. I forwarded everything to Raymond and smiled. The countdown had begun. 12 hours to go, Malia said, watching the clock. How are you so calm? I refreshed Reagan's Instagram feed. Another perfect sunset photo. Another Badshung blessed caption. Because for once, I know exactly what's coming. My phone rang. Ryder again. There's something else you need to know, he said without preamble. About that night, Reagan was drunk. I'm listening. She didn't just talk about using someone's credit. She laughed about it. Said she'd been planning it for months. His voice was tight. Said she deserved a perfect wedding more than you deserved good credit. Anything else? Yeah. She mentioned your mum helped her practice your signature. I felt my jaw clench. When was this? Last September, at that bar on 4th Street. He paused. The night before she got engaged. 9 months. They'd been plotting this for 9 months. My laptop pinged with an alert from the fraud department. Reagan had just charged another $3,000 at the resort spa. Last hurrah, I muttered. Malia's phone buzzed. Holy shit, she said, reading. My cousin at the bank found something. Tax records filed in your name going back 3 years. 3 years? Small stuff at first. Deductions here and there. But it got bigger after she met Clyde. I called Raymond. Already on it, he said before I could speak. The tax fraud is extensive. Your mother's fingerprints are all over it too. She used her position at the accounting firm to push the paperwork through. My hands shook as I hung up. 3 years of fraud. My own mother. The doorbell rang. Sydney stood there, clutching a planner. I found her original wedding budget, she said, pushing past me. Look at this. The planner was colour-coded, detailed. Every expense calculated. Every account mapped out. My name appeared everywhere, alongside notes like good credit limit and easy to forge. She showed me this, Sydney said. Told me you were dying of cancer and wanted to help with the wedding before. She wiped her eyes. I'm so stupid. You're not stupid. You're just another person she used. My phone lit up with a text from Clyde. Hey, quick question. The resort needs the original card used for booking. Can you send Reagan the security code? I smiled, typing back. Of course. Anything for my favourite sister. The code is 847. That's not the real code, Malia observed. Nope, but it'll buy us time when they try to check out. Hours ticked by. Reagan posted more photos, more perfect moments, more borrowed luxury. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. Is this Zuriel? A woman's voice, professional. This is Sandra from the Maldives Island Resort. We're having an issue with the payment method on file. Oh? I kept my voice innocent. What seems to be the problem? The card is declining. Your sister says you authorized the charges. I'm afraid there must be some mistake. I never authorized any charges. Silence. Then, Ma'am, we have registration forms with your signature. Those signatures are forged. I've never been to your resort. I see. Papers shuffled in the background. In that case, we'll need to speak with Ms. Reagan immediately. Of course. And Sandra? You might want to call your fraud department. Minutes later, my phone exploded with notifications. Reagan calling, Clyde calling, Mom calling, text messages flooding in. It's starting, Malia whispered. I opened my laptop and watched as, one by one, the accounts began to freeze. Credit cards declined. Fraud alerts triggered. Everything we'd set in motion clicking perfectly into place. A new email arrived. Security footage from the resort. Reagan screaming at the front desk. Clyde looking stunned. Hotel security approaching. "Your sister's in quite a situation," Raymond said when I called him. "The resort's threatening to contact authorities. She's demanding they accept other cards, all in your name. And every single one is declining. She's trapped in paradise with no way to pay." My phone buzzed again. A text from Mom. "What have you done?" I typed back, "Nothing. I just finally checked my credit." Reagan's Instagram went dark. Her last post, that perfect sunset, flooded with comments asking about fraud allegations. Then came the message I'd been waiting for. From the fraud department. "Confirmed international credit fraud. Federal investigation pending. Please stand by for further instructions." I closed my laptop and looked at Malia. "Now we wait." For what? As if on cue, my phone rang. Private number. I knew who it would be. "You bitch," Reagan sobbed when I answered. "You've ruined everything." I smiled into the phone. "No, Reagan. You did that all by yourself." The line went dead, but I kept smiling. The truth was finally catching up to her, one declined transaction at a time. "They're holding her passport." Raymond's voice crackled through my speakerphone. "The resort won't let them leave until they settle the bill, all $47,000 of it." I sipped my coffee, watching the sunrise from my balcony. "How's that working out for them?" "Not well. Your sister tried using 6 different cards, all declined. Clyde's cards too. She's threatening to sue everyone." "Of course she is." My phone buzzed with another call. Clyde. "I swear I didn't know," he said immediately. "Zuriel, you have to believe me." "Did you ever ask how she was paying for everything?" "She said her parents were helping, that you all pitched in because you wanted us to have a perfect wedding." I laughed. "And you believed that? After your own parents cut you off?" Silence. "How bad is it?" he finally asked. "About 300,000, all told, plus federal tax fraud." I heard him inhale sharply. "Tax fraud?" "Mum helped her file false returns in my name for 3 years. Jesus Christ." His voice cracked. "The police are here, at the resort. They're asking questions about identity theft across international borders." "I know. Please," he begged. "Can't we work something out?" "Sure. Tell Reagan to confess, to everything, including Mum's involvement." The line went dead. Malia arrived with breakfast and updates from social media. Reagan's friends are turning on her. Sydney posted screenshots of their conversations about forging signatures. My phone lit up with a text from Mom. "The police just left my office. How could you do this to your family?" I typed back, "Funny, I was about to ask you the same thing." The next few hours were a blur of calls and messages. Raymond updating me on the legal proceedings, the fraud department confirming charges, friends and relatives choosing sides. Then came the video. "You need to see this," Malia said, holding up her phone. Someone at the resort had filmed Reagan's meltdown. She was screaming at the hotel manager, throwing things, demanding they accept her cards. Clyde tried to calm her down as security approached. "I am not a criminal," she shrieked in the video. "My sister gave me permission. She's just jealous. She's always been jealous." The clip ended with Reagan being escorted to a private room by local police. "It's going viral," Malia said quietly. My phone rang again. The fraud investigator. We've frozen everything, he confirmed. But there's more. We found evidence of other accounts she tried to open in your name. Home loans, car loans, even a small business loan. She was planning to keep going, I realised. The federal investigators want to meet tomorrow. This is bigger than we thought. I ended the call and opened my email. Dozens of messages from relatives, ranging from support to condemnation. One caught my eye, from Reagan's wedding planner, with attachments. "Thought you should have these," the email read. She bragged about using her sister's credit, said you'd never notice because you were too stupid to check your accounts. The attachments were voice memos. Reagan laughing, planning, detailing exactly how she'd steal my identity. My mother's voice in the background, offering suggestions. My phone buzzed. A text from Sydney. "They're letting her call family. She's telling everyone you gave her verbal permission, that you're framing her." I forwarded the voice memos to Raymond. Minutes later, he called back. "This is exactly what we needed. Clear premeditation, conspiracy. Your mother's involvement is undeniable." What happens now? The resort is pressing charges. Federal investigators are en route. She'll be arrested the moment she sets foot back in the country, if she can even leave the Maldives. My phone lit up with a news alert. Local headlines about an American bride detained for fraud. Social media exploding with screenshots of Reagan's perfect wedding, now tainted with accusations and evidence. Clyde called again. "The police say it's federal," he whispered. "They're talking about prison time." That tends to happen with international credit fraud. She's hysterical. Keeps saying you promised to help, that you're doing this for attention. I opened my laptop, pulling up the folder of evidence. "Put her on the phone." A moment later, Reagan's voice. "How could you do this to me?" "Check your email," I said calmly. "What?" "I just sent you something. Listen to it." I heard the click of her opening the voice memo. Then her own voice, months ago, laughing. "Zuriel's such an idiot. She never checks her credit. Mum's helping me forge her signature. By the time she figures it out, I'll be married and living my best life." The line went silent. "Still want to claim I gave you permission?" I asked softly. She hung up. My phone buzzed one final time. A text from Raymond. "Federal agents just arrived at the resort. It's done." I looked at the last photo Reagan posted before everything fell apart. Her perfect sunset. Her stolen paradise. "Check your credit score now," I whispered. The video of Reagan being escorted through the airport in handcuffs went viral faster than her wedding photos. No designer dress now, just a wrinkled sundress and smeared mascara, her perfect honeymoon tan already fading under the fluorescent lights. 7 federal charges, Raymond said, spreading the paperwork across my kitchen table, plus international fraud, identity theft, and tax evasion. They're offering a plea deal. "And Mum, 3 charges so far, more pending." He shuffled through documents. "The accounting firm fired her this morning." My phone hadn't stopped buzzing since Reagan's arrest hit the news. Relatives choosing sides, friends asking questions, reporters seeking comments. Malia screened my calls. "Your aunt says you're going to hell. Your cousin thinks you're her hero. And Clyde's lawyer wants to talk about annulment options." "What about Mum?" "Still telling everyone you're lying. But the evidence packets we sent to the family are changing minds fast." My laptop pinged with a news alert. "Social media influencer arrested in international identity theft scheme." Below it, Reagan's mugshot next to one of her perfect wedding photos. The doorbell rang. Ryder stood there, looking uncomfortable. "I found these," he said, holding out a stack of papers. "From that night at the bar. Reagan left her planner behind, and I—" He swallowed. "I should have told you sooner." The papers were detailed notes about my daily routine, when I checked my mail, which accounts I monitored, even my work schedule marked with the best times to intercept deliveries. "She studied me," I whispered, "like a mark." My phone rang. Unknown number. "Zuriel?" It was Clyde, voice shaking. "They're saying 3 to 5 years. Minimum security, but still. Actions have consequences. She's asking for you, begging to explain. There's nothing to explain." I ended the call. Malia touched my arm. "Your mum's here." I looked through the peephole. Mum stood in the hallway, clutching her designer purse, the one Reagan had bought her with my stolen credit. "Go away. Please," she called through the door. "Just let me explain." "Explain what? How you helped her steal my identity, how you forged my signature, how you filed fraudulent tax returns in my name. I did it for her wedding, for her happiness." I yanked the door open. What about my happiness, my credit, my future? "She's your sister. And I'm your daughter." The words echoed in the hallway. "Or did you forget that part while you were committing federal fraud?" She flinched. "The police took my passport." "Good. I could go to prison." "Also good. Zuriel, please." Tears smeared her expensive mascara. "Help me fix this." I laughed. "Like you helped Reagan fix her wedding budget? By stealing my identity? I never thought—" "No, you never did. Not about me, anyway." I stepped back. "The federal investigators want to meet tomorrow. I'm sure they'd love to hear your explanation." I closed the door on her protests. My phone lit up with a text from Sydney. "Reagan's asking everyone for bail money. No one's answering." Another message popped up, from Raymond. "Your sister's lawyer called. She wants to make a deal." What kind of deal? Full confession. Names everyone involved, in exchange for a lighter sentence. I smiled. Of course she does. The golden child turns state's evidence. Malia read over my shoulder. "Think she'll really confess?" "She'll throw everyone under the bus to save herself. She always does." My laptop pinged with an email from the federal investigators. Attached was Reagan's initial statement, recorded at the airport. It was all Zuriel's idea. She offered to help with the wedding, said I could use her credit. Mum helped because she knew about the arrangement. I'm the victim here. Below it, time stamped 10 minutes later, after they showed her the evidence. "Okay, fine. I took her cards. I forged her signature. Mum helped because she wanted me to have a perfect wedding. Zuriel never knew. She never knows anything. She's so stupid about money." The recording continued, Reagan's voice growing more desperate as she implicated everyone who helped her. Friends, family, Mum, anyone to shift the blame. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Mom. "The police are here again. They know everything. What have you done?" I typed back, "Nothing. Reagan did what Reagan always does. She told the truth when it served her. Enjoy prison, Mum." I blocked her number and opened my laptop, pulling up the final piece of evidence. Mum's signature on the fraudulent tax returns, dated 3 years ago. "Send it," I told Raymond. He nodded. "That's the last nail." I watched my screen as the confirmation appeared. Evidence submitted to federal investigators. "Now," I said, "we wait for Reagan's perfect world to finish crumbling." Guilty on all counts, Raymond announced, closing his case file. Your sister took the plea deal. 3 years in federal prison, plus restitution. I nodded, watching rain streak down my office window. And Mum? 18 months, plus fines. The judge wasn't impressed with her "I did it for my daughter" defense. My phone buzzed. A text from Clyde. Annulment approved. I'm sorry for everything. Don't be sorry, I typed back. Be smarter next time. Malia brought coffee and updates. Reagan's Instagram is gone. Her wedding website too. It's like her perfect life just vanished. Nothing perfect about it, I said. It was all stolen. My computer pinged with an email from the credit bureau. My score was slowly climbing back up, fraudulent accounts removed one by one. The door opened. Sydney stood there, clutching an envelope. They want me to testify, she said, hands shaking, about the notary fraud. You should. I met her eyes. Tell the truth, all of it. Reagan's saying I knew, that I was in on it. Of course she is. I took the envelope, but we have proof you weren't. My phone lit up, a call from the federal prosecutor. We found more, she said without preamble. Your mother's been doing this for years, not just with Reagan. Other clients at her firm, family members, friends. How many? Dozens. Your sister learned from the best. I ended the call as Raymond returned with more files. Look at this, he said, spreading photos across my desk. Your mother's pattern goes back decades. Small fraud at first, then bigger. Using other people's credit, identities. Like mother, like daughter, Malia muttered. My phone buzzed again. A text from Mom. Please visit. I need to explain. Delete. Another message from Reagan. You've destroyed our family. I hope you're happy. Block. They still don't get it, I told Malia. They think I'm the villain. Narcissists never see themselves as wrong. Raymond gathered his files. The restitution hearing is next week. They'll have to pay back everything. Money they don't have. No, he smiled. But they have assets. Houses, cars, jewellery, all bought with stolen funds. It's all getting seized. My laptop pinged with a news alert. Mother-daughter fraud ring exposed. Decades of financial crimes uncovered. I closed the browser and opened my email. Dozens of messages from other victims of Mom's schemes, thanking me for exposing the truth. What now? Malia asked. Now? I looked at the rain-streaked window. Now I rebuild. My credit, my life, my truth. Your family isn't family. I turned to face her. They're just people who shared my last name while stealing it. Sydney cleared her throat. The prosecutor says Reagan's been writing letters, trying to contact you. Let her write. I stood up. I'm done reading their fiction. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Ryder. You were right. About everything. I'm sorry I didn't believe you sooner. Belief is cheap, I typed back. Action matters. Raymond returned with final paperwork. The seized assets cover most of the restitution. Your credit should be fully restored within months. And Reagan's perfect wedding photos? Evidence in a federal case now. He smiled. Not so Instagram-worthy anymore. I packed up my desk, ready to head home. Malia waited by the door. You okay? Better than okay. I shouldered my bag. I'm free. From what? From their narrative, their lies, their perfect family fiction. My phone lit up with a final alert. A letter from the probate court. Another fraud investigation. Another identity theft. Another stolen life. But this time I wasn't afraid. This time I knew exactly who I was and who they were. You know what Reagan said at her wedding? I told Malia as we left. Family is everything. And now? Now she knows the truth. I stepped into the rain. Family is nothing without honesty. We walked to my car, leaving the office behind. Somewhere, Reagan sat in a cell, writing letters I'd never read. Mum faced her own consequences, finally learning that actions matter more than intentions. And me, I had my name back, my identity, my truth. The rain washed away the last traces of their perfect lies, leaving only reality, harsh, clean, and mine. "Ready to go home?" Malia asked. I smiled, feeling lighter than I had in years. "I already am,"